Hello everyone. My name's Kevin Icog, and today I wanted to share the story of how I met Shri 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 Shivabalayogi Maharaj. Ki Jai. This is to the world to tell my story. I was a nurse in the Army, was activated, and went to Desert Storm in 1990-91. I was already a meditator. I learned to meditate at a very young age. My father took our whole family and we learned TM. And so I was a very steady, dedicated practitioner of TM. My friends used to call me the Rock of Gibraltar, because I just did steady practice all the time. I never stopped. And when they would fall off on their practice, they would call me to come down and be with them. And I lived up in the Pocono area. I was born up there, was raised up there. Anyway, this is about how I met Swamiji. I was over in the war, got activated, and left the hospital of assignment basically to go reactivate to the reserve unit I was with, and we were a field hospital. We ended up in the middle of Saudi Arabia, about 80 miles from Kuwait, and we were there from I guess you could say January till probably May. The thing is Swamiji, old body Swamiji, got stuck in the airport there. You know, I was in the desert, you know. I mean, I'm out in this underground garage just trying to survive. That's how our whole unit was in there for like a week before we moved to another place. But during that time, I always meditated. Didn't matter what. I got it in no matter what. That's how I was. I was that focused. You know, you got to be one centered, focused mind, and that's how I always practiced, even back then. And so, when I was meditating, as I meditated there, and I was doing the TM cities. Now, of course, I couldn't majorly practice, but I was still doing all of it. You know, both sets, twice a day, every day. And I'd get them in. And sometimes we were in mop gear, which is full chemical gear. The mask, all the thing, the gloves, the booties, everything. And you're in that a long time. I mean, you wish you could meditate, because that's what I did. I meditated during those times. And during those times, there was this presence there. And I felt it all the time. It was Swamiji. We were in the desert. Like, I saw him in the desert. He was there in the meditation in the desert. I was in the desert. I was in the meditation, but I was in the desert. And there was nothing around us. And I saw him. He didn't speak. He didn't say anything to me. He was just in the desert. And I saw him, and he was in this, like, beautiful white kind of flowing material, and his face was very clear to me. And I can't say I saw more reoccurrences of Swamiji in my meditation. I mean, he was there every now and then, like I'd see him. But this was the very clear one where he was in the desert. And so this is the first part of the story. I met Shivabalayogi in old body. I saw him in old body. We never spoke or anything, but we looked directly at each other. You know, the war was over. We eventually come home. We lived in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I still continued my practice of Transcendental Meditation, of the TM Siddhi program, and in which you learn Patanjali Sutras. And so I was doing that all the time. And part of it is because I became sick after I got home from the Persian Gulf War, and developed that illness or syndrome, the Gulf War syndrome or illness. And spent years trying to heal myself, and raise a family at the same time, as well as continue on with my spiritual practice of meditation and, go throughout my day. And the meditation was basically the gemstone to me. I built my whole house around that. And to me, that's how you should build a spiritual practice. You should start with meditation. It's probably the keynote to the whole thing. You can develop all the asanas, the pranayama, all the others come out of that. But meditation, to me, is the key. To me, that's the key. That's what I always did. That's what I always loved. That was my sanctuary in life. I started with that, and, I didn't have the best life in the world. We were poor. It was difficult. It was a struggle. I didn't really fit in real well where I was. And meditation was my sanctuary. It was the place I went to gain silence and peace and serenity, and I had profound experiences throughout the years. And I had no money to go anywhere. And a lot of it was through books and different things, and masters would come to me right through the book. It can happen. I can tell you many, many stories. And that's not even my internal experiences. And those I probably will not share. Maybe a few, but this is an internal one I'm sharing today. So then many years later, a friend of mine, a good friend of mine that we did lots of spiritual work together, said, Kevin, you have to come and meet this man at this church. He's coming from India, and he's going to this small church, and she goes, you just have to meet him. And I said, okay. It was a small church in Philadelphia, up in the northeast section. And anyway, I went there, and Swamiji was there. He was sitting in the chair. This is the man I saw. This is also Shri 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 Shivabalayogi now, but at one time he was MP Singh. And so the thing is Swamiji moved when he went into Mahasamadhi, into this body. And I can even tell you the reason why he did it. Same reason you need murtis and statues. Some people need certain things for their evolutionary process. And for those who need the physical form of Shivabalayogi, my friends, here he is. Here he is. That right there is the physical form of Shivabalayogi right now in this world. I've had profound experiences with him. He initiated me to teach meditation, and I taught it every Friday for 5 years at my home. And my wife and I have had many, many experiences during those years of teaching it here. And so I sit down in church, and they come around, they put the vibhuti on your Bhrakuti point, your third eye point, a little bit lower than the third eye point, but the Bhrakuti point. And so once they put that there, that's the initial initiation. I closed my eyes, and as soon as I closed my eyes, and I had a massive, massive migraine before I even got there. And I've been getting them for years. It's all from the war. It's like, there's things I still have, they're just there. They're just there, and I am not them. I'm looking at the third eye space as soon as I close my eyes. I didn't even need to tell me that. That's just, I look at it. Now, I will have to say, I am hearing my mantric sound, just automatic. And so it didn't matter though. All of a sudden I feel myself moving. I'm just moving. I'm moving forward, and I see this gigantic red, orangey glow sun in front of me. And I move into it, and I move through it. And as I move through it, I see Swamiji. He's sitting on a chair, a golden throne chair, beautiful looking golden throne chair. It's flowing gold, it's brilliant, and he's sitting on it, and it's Ganesh. He's Ganesh, and he calls to me, and I sit next to him, and he places his hand on my head. And I become that same glowing form as Swamiji. And we just sat there together. And that was it. That was the experience. Come see him while you can. You might just see MP Singh. You might just see Swamiji. You know, life is all what you make it. Some see one thing, some see something else. You know, I knew there was a book, Be Here Now, and I read that book. I experienced Nimkroli Baba from that book. And I have some of those experiences on this thing as well, on this YouTube channel. Shivabalayogi corrected things for me. I can't even begin to tell you. I no longer do TM. I no longer practice the cities. I don't need to. The cities chase me. If it's needed, they'll be there. I don't need to get any of them. It's a humanitarian mission for me. I'm here to try to help humanity find their spiritual path, their spiritual goals, try to set things right, find the path of sainthood in every religion, everything there is, because I don't have a religion. When I was born, my mother wanted to become Jewish and convert, but she hadn't converted yet. And I was born nothing. They didn't have a religion at that point yet. That was her intention, but they hadn't done it yet. So, in my humble opinion, I was born nothing, and I will die nothing. This is my spiritual path I give to the world freely from my heart. And I give it to each and every one. There'll be all kinds of people on here, all kinds of things. As much as I can load into this with the person who's helping me make these, because I'm not really very good at this. At least editing them, and probably even filming them. But I do my best. And that's all we can do in this world, is our best. We do our best. We make the best of it. And I wish everyone to be free of pain and suffering, and to help share and be kind and compassionate to one another. I hope everyone can help each and every one, give them a foot up. If you see you're a little bit higher, give them a foot up. Don't stand there and laugh at them and make fun. Give them a foot up. Help them. You don't have to become their best friend. Just give them a little foot up. Help them in this world. Help them become something. You help them become something, and I guarantee you will become something. That's how it works. You get rewarded for things you do here that are good. And if enough of us do good things and good acts, you can change the world. It's always a small group. The minority. Help each other. Join hands, help each other. Learn to meditate no matter what you do. No matter, even if you're an atheist. You don't have to believe in anything. Just learn to meditate. Just learn to look inward. You don't have to do anything else other than that. You don't have to focus on anything else other than that. But for those who would like to have that upward experience, that are into developing a deep, deep, strong spiritual life, I highly recommend getting to know Shivabalayogi and learning about his life and who he is, and especially at this time of uncertainty in the world, we need spiritual paths. Shivabalayogi was Sathayarju. He was walking through a field of palmyra fruit in his hometown area of Adavadapapeta, and a small weaving town in India, and very, very poor. And this fruit that he had, as he walked, started to shake and move and turned into a Shiva Lingam stone. And then the Shiva Lingam stone broke open, and this aesthetic man appeared before him and tapped Sathayarju on the head. He went into instantaneous samadhi. He then meditated 23 hours a day for 8 years. And then he meditated for 4 more years, 12 hours a day. Swamiji's type of meditation is 1 hour long. You place some vibhuti on the third eye space, and you focus there, and you just let Swamiji guide you on the path of meditation, leading into samadhi, into tapas, and experience the Creator, the Divine, the Supreme Being. I hope some will join me on this Guru Purnima and learn about Shivabalayogi and this path. To me, it's a golden, golden path. I will share others here as well, but for me, Shivabalayogi, I fell in love with him. I will always be in love with him, and that's the path. It's the path of love. And you know, you can't tell someone who they're going to fall in love with. It happens. It just happens. Who knows why it happens? I don't even know if God knows why it happens. It just happens. And I fell in love with him. And it's always there. And it's an open heart. And that's the only way to God. And so with that, my friends, I share with you my story. I hope it helps your spiritual path. I hope it helps those who already know Swamiji, Shri Shri Shri, Shivabalayogi Maharaj. I hope it helps all of you at this time of uncertainty in our lives at Guru Purnima this year. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, happy Guru Purnima. I hope you get exactly what you wish for. And I hope you help the person behind you with a little hand up, a little foothold, just to get over that wall. Help them all. Let's help each other. Let's share what we know. Let's not try to keep secrets or form little groups. Let's share openly with our hearts and learn to love one another. Shri 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 Shivabalayogi Maharaj ki. Shri 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 Shivabalayogi Maharaj ki. Shri 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 Shivabalayogi Maharaj ki. Jai.